beginning on September 18, 2001, 1 week after the September 11th attacks. America was plunged into a state of shock and grief. An unseen enemy emerged from the shadows. Letters, seemingly innocuous, began to arrive in mailboxes across the nation, carrying not words of comfort, but a deadly biological agent: anthrax. This wasn't just a public health crisis. It was a chilling act of bioterrorism that would claim lives, ignite widespread panic, and launch one of the most complex and controversial investigations in FBI history. Today, we delve into the harrowing events of the 2001 Anthrax Attacks, exploring how a nation, already on edge, confronted a new, invisible threat. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe for future content. The first ominous signs appeared in early October 2001. On October 4th, Bob Ivins, a photojournalist for American media in Boca Raton, Florida, was hospitalized with a mysterious and severe illness. He was diagnosed with inhalation anthrax, a rare and often fatal form of the disease. The very next day, Ivins tragically succumbed to the infection, marking the first anthrax death in the U.S. in a quarter-century. This wasn't an isolated incident. Soon, more cases emerged in New York, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. Letters containing anthrax spores were sent to media outlets like NBC and the New York Post, and critically, to the offices of prominent political figures, including Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle. The realization that these attacks were deliberate, coordinated, and targeting key institutions sent a wave of terror across the country. Mail facilities became potential danger zones, and the simple act of opening a letter was suddenly fraught with peril. In total, 5 Americans lost their lives to the 2001 anthrax attacks, and 17 others were infected. Beyond Bob Ivins, we remember postal workers Thomas Morris Jr. and Joseph Cursine Jr. from the Brentwood facility in Washington, D.C., Kathy N. Nguyen, a hospital employee in New York, and Ottilie Lundgren, a 94-year-old woman from Connecticut. These were ordinary citizens caught in an extraordinary act of terror. Anthrax, caused by the bacterium Bacillus anthracis, is a formidable biological weapon. Its spores are microscopic, odorless, and tasteless, making them incredibly difficult to detect. When inhaled, these spores can lead to severe respiratory illness, often progressing rapidly to organ failure and death if not treated promptly with antibiotics. The attacks highlighted just how vulnerable society was to such an insidious threat, prompting a massive public health response and a desperate search for answers. The FBI launched a massive investigation, codenamed Amerithrax, to identify the perpetrator. This became one of the most complex and expensive investigations in FBI history. Initially, suspicion fell upon Dr. Stephen Hatfill, a biodefense scientist. His home was searched, and he was publicly named a person of interest. However, after years of intense scrutiny, no charges were ever brought against Hatfill, and he later received a substantial settlement from the government for defamation. The investigation then shifted focus to another government scientist, Dr. Bruce Ivins, who worked at the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases at Fort Detrick, Maryland. Ivins was a microbiologist with access to the specific strain of anthrax used in the attacks. As the FBI closed in, Ivins committed suicide in July 2008. In February 2010, the FBI formally concluded its investigation, asserting that Ivins was the sole perpetrator. They cited scientific evidence, including genetic analysis of the anthrax spores, which they claimed linked the mailed anthrax to a flask in Ivins' lab. Despite the FBI's definitive conclusion, the Amerithrax investigation remains shrouded in controversy. Many critics, including some scientists and members of Congress, questioned the FBI's methods and the certainty of their findings. A 2011 review by the National Academies of Sciences concluded that while the scientific evidence was consistent with Ivins being the perpetrator, it did not conclusively prove it. Furthermore, a 2014 report by the Governmental Accountability Office highlighted flaws in the scientific methods used by the FBI to identify Ivins. These reports cast significant doubt on the absolute certainty of the FBI's conclusion, leaving many to wonder if the full truth about the 2001 anthrax attacks has ever truly been revealed. The motive, too, remained a subject of intense debate, with theories ranging from a disgruntled scientist seeking recognition to a more complex conspiracy. The 2001 anthrax attacks served as a stark wake-up call for the United States, exposing critical vulnerabilities in national security and public health infrastructure. In the aftermath, there was a significant increase in funding and focus on bioterrorism preparedness. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, along with other federal agencies, ramped up efforts to strengthen response capabilities, improve laboratory testing, and educate the public on emergency preparedness. The attacks underscored the importance of rapid identification, containment, and treatment of biological threats. While the immediate terror subsided, the lessons learned from the anthrax attacks continue to shape our approach to biodefense and public health, reminding us that vigilance against unseen enemies is a constant necessity. The 2001 anthrax attacks were a dark chapter in American history, a period when fear arrived in an envelope. While the official investigation pointed to a single perpetrator, the lingering questions serve as a reminder of the complexities inherent in such cases. What is undeniable is the profound impact these events had on the nation, forever changing our perception of security and the threats we face. It's a story of tragedy, investigation, and the enduring human spirit in the face of an invisible enemy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and share.